We are
Mm,
live. See your face
Listen,
again.
look, this is Deval. It's been what? How many weeks has it been since I've actually seen your beautiful face? Because I've managed to, folks, I've managed to get the internet back. You know, I've arrived at civilization.
Yep.
Actually, I was going to say third world. This is first world problems. I've managed to get decent internet back. So you are watching us over there. You can be doing the whole streaming thing. Catch us on YouTube on this episode. This is episode 201, folks. We did our 200th episode with Emmanuel, which was last week. We had a great laugh, you know, chatting movies, chatting shit, and the Flixters are back. And we've got some great movies that we want to speak about, and so stick around for that one. Got some trailers. There's a new science fiction movie called Prey that's out, which we're going to be speaking about. That just dropped recently. There's a Netflix movie that we're going to be speaking about, and there's a big cinema release that just came out, which Deval is going to discuss. So yeah, let's get into the show, Devaldo. So first up, shout outs.
Yeah, so first out, this shout out goes to Adele Turner. Adele Turner. I don't know why I said Adele. But she's American, I think. So I don't know how Americans say Adele. Maybe they say Adele. If they're from the South, they definitely say Adele. So Adele Turner. Catch her on Instagram. She's really into movies. She loves the movies. I know she likes her Korean movies. I know she loves her Korean movies. So go check her out and go chat movies with her. So yeah, big shout out goes to Adele Turner.
I wonder what Adele. I wonder if we've heard from Adele about Money Heist Korea. Because you know what, I haven't seen it, man.
I've not seen it too. I'll ask her. I'll find out.
But there's a part of me which is like, well, if it's like Money Heist, like the original, why? I mean, do I need to watch that one? Is it if it's the same?
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again. If it's the same, which I think it will be, I wouldn't watch it again unless obviously you want to find out what the tweaks are. There probably will be some kind of slight differences, but yeah. There's so many things to watch now. You know, why are you going to go and watch another carbon copy? You know, so yeah,
absolutely, yeah. Who else?
Yeah, that's it.
Nice, short and sweet. Thanks, Adele. Thanks for listening to the show. And listen, remember, if you want to be a shout out on the episode, then get in touch with us. Let us know what you're watching. Let us know what you're not watching, films that you like, dislike. Maybe there's a movie that you want us to kind of speak about. So get in touch with us and let us know that. And beyond that, let's get into movie news now. So Deval, oh man, this has been lighting up like the internet, and a part of me isn't surprised because we're dealing with DC over here, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell is going on with the DC universe with Warner Brothers. What's going on? But listen, folks, if you haven't heard, the last couple of days there's been like a shitstorm in the movie world because Warner Brothers, they've decided to not release Batgirl, which was a movie that they filmed in Scotland, in Glasgow.
Oh yeah, I remember you mentioned it. I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, they spent like a good 6 months, on production, and when they have the kind of tax breaks and things like that, they get all that, and obviously, must have employed like thousands of people over there. Yeah. But they've decided they're not going to release Batgirl. What gives development? And this movie is like say 95% done.
Yeah, and it cost $90 million. This is the epitome of what's wrong with the world today. We often call it cancel culture. You know, you say something wrong online, which I'm sure one of these days we're going to get cancelled for something that we've said.
Trust me.
But yeah, this cost $90 million. Just like you said, it's pretty much finished. And they've now said, I think you or Emmanuel last week mentioned some new bigwigs coming into Warner Brothers, and the things have changed. They've changed how they're going to be releasing films and all kinds of stuff. And this is literally the outcome of that change. And they're cancelling Batgirl. They're cancelling the Flash TV show.
Yes, heard about that.
The last season's going to be happening, and they're just changing. I mean, with this one, with Batgirl, like you mentioned, this was meant to be a pivotal moment for the character. First Afro-Latina character taken on the role. It was meant to be in the cinemas, and some people said, okay, at least release it on HBO Max. Not going to happen. So we're not going to see any kind of Batgirl. So yeah, it's sad, but I mean, obviously, if you're big enough to waste $90 million, I don't know. It says something about you, doesn't it?
Exactly. I was reading into this, Deval, and so the guy, I think his name is David Zaslav. He's the new guy. He's the new head honcho. He was questioned about the whole Batgirl thing, and he said that they want to focus on quality. He kept using the word quality. So a lot of people are saying, is the movie that bad that they were like, okay, it's a write-off? Or is it the other reason, which apparently is to do with kind of like a tax thing?
Yeah.
You know, that they're able to write it off as a tax thing. Apparently they showed it to kind of like, you know, these test audiences, and it was shit. I don't know if that's a rumor, if that's true. But it's directed by the guys who brought us Ms. Marvel.
And Bad Boys for Life as well.
Yeah.
And the test screening, well, the test screening that they did, it got the same sort of reviews as the first test screening for Black Adam. You got the same level of reviews. So who's to say? I don't know what's going on here, but either way, it's not happening. No Batgirl.
It's not happening. So there's a movie out there called Batgirl, which we're never going to see unless, remember, Deval, remember what happens? Give it a few years.
Yeah.
There's going to be the Adil and the Arbil, or can't remember what the names are, but there's going to be the Batgirl cut is going to come out there, and I'm pretty sure, give it a few years, it's going to happen. So go check that out. So the Flash and all that stuff, you know, that's all cancelled. Supergirl, that's been scrapped as well. So we'll have to wait and see. I think DC are just riding on Black Adam, the Flash movie, Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman. That's what they want to do, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. The main household names, I think, is what they're going to bank on.
The main household names.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, check this out then. Another household name in the DC universe, Joker.
Okay.
Were we surprised about this, Deval? This next piece of news?
No, the Joker made a ton of money. Budget was really
over a bill.
It was quite small. It's quite a small budget for the kind of film it was. Quite an intimate film, and it done really well. Oscar nominations, or did he win an Oscar for this?
Yeah,
he won an Oscar. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I'm not surprised it's going to be a sequel, and a sequel, from what we understand, we see a teaser of Joaquin Phoenix dancing, and then also we see Lady Gaga is going to be involved as well. Wow. And people are saying she's going to be a version of Harley Quinn, which I can see that happening.
Yeah,
I can see it. I can see it. So
you can definitely see it.
Hopefully, I hope they keep it in the same sort of vein as the first one. Don't do it too big. Yes, you got a bigger budget, but keep it just like how we like it, you know.
Yeah. And do we want to see, do we in this type of a universe, because this is kind of like a bit particular, do we want to see heroes? We don't want to see a Batman in this one, do we?
We don't need to. It's not about them. They've had their turn, you know. Just like Superman said to General Zod, they've had their chance, you know. When General Zod's trying to kill all the Kryptonians, they've had their chance. Let the villains have a bit of a platform, you know, to
a bit of a spotlight.
Yeah, you know.
All right, that's good. I like it. So go check that out. Joker 2 is going to be coming. And so let us know what your thoughts on that. And now check this out. Let's do some casting rumors. Now, Deval, you know this happens all the time in Hollywood, you know, where you have whitewashing, you have, white people portraying, people of color. It's happened throughout history. Yeah. Most famously back in the 60s, what was her name? Elizabeth Taylor. She was cast as
Cleopatra, isn't it?
Cleopatra. And they're saying Cleopatra, she was like Egyptian, and she back in the day, she wouldn't have been like white.
No.
There would have been like complexion, there would have been darkness, there would have been a color in there. So whitewashing has basically happened throughout like Hollywood's history. Check this out. John Leguizamo, he has hit out at the people making a movie called I want to get the kind of I want to make sure I get the title right.
But
it's basically to do with whitewashing.
Hello.
Yeah, it's
hello.
Hello. Yeah, man. It's like so here's the thing.
John Leguizamo, he doesn't mess around, when he speaks, you got to listen, because my man is not just a funny man or whatever. He's got some gems. So
Yeah, exactly. So check this out, right? So he took to Instagram just recently, and he's speaking out against the recent casting of James Franco as Fidel Castro. Now, for people who don't know, Fidel Castro is like Cuban. He's a Latino. He's like, you can't, like, he's Latin American. Last time I checked, I don't think James Franco is Latino, or I don't know. If you go back,
people that you could get to do it, can't you? It didn't. I know this has been done already, but didn't Benicio del Toro play a version of him? Am I thinking of someone else?
No, absolutely.
He did,
absolutely.
didn't he? Yeah. So
he played Castro.
Yeah.
So John, he's basically spoken out saying you've got so many, Latin, American, with the heritage of Latin America. Why can't they get someone to kind of do that? So the movie's called Elena of Cuba. It's directed by a guy called Miguel Bardem. And here's the thing, Deval.
Come on, Miguel. You should know. Come on, Miguel. Come on, mate.
Deval, I think, don't you reckon this is? I get it. I reckon Miguel had
he's been on
this opportunity. He's had the opportunity to make a movie. It's like, get someone like James Franco, or don't get someone else. So I don't know.
Sometimes
what would you do, man?
Sometimes not even the director's choice, because remember the directors, sometimes they're also commissioned to do a job, and they're there to work and get their profile up. Sometimes it's not up to them. So for me, I would not want to see that happening, because that's just gonna the backlash of that could damage your career and the film more than you think the opportunity is worth. So I think James Franco should bow down and let someone else, do it. In this day and age, representation is important, especially when you're representing people.
So he said, so John, he went online and he said, how is this still going on? How is Hollywood excluding us but stealing our narratives as well? Which is a fair point. Which is a fair point. And then he said, Franco ain't Latino. So it's like, you know what? He has spoken. So we'll see how that goes. Apparently it's going to be coming out. And hopefully we'll get a chance to watch that one. Now, I want to speak about this one. So the whole reboot, retread, remake is still going strong. We're getting all these types of movies from, remakes of movies from the past. There's one movie, Deval, that I remember watching when I was a kid, which I was like, I think this movie came out in 1989. So I must have been about 11 years old or something. I remember watching this movie. It's called Roadhouse, starring
Patrick Swayze, isn't it?
Patrick Swayze, right?
God.
And he plays a bouncer. So Patrick Swayze, he plays this really kind of like this hard as nails bouncer. He goes into some hick town in America. He cleans the place up. Well, check this out. Jake Gyllenhaal has bought the rights, and he's making a remake. He's doing a remake of the. Apparently, I think he's bought the rights for it, and they're going to be doing a remake with so Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be doing the Patrick Swayze, but check this out. I think Conor UFC fighter Conor McGregor is going to be in the movie as well. So I don't know what's going on over here. Is he going to be a sidekick or whatever?
He thinks it's Ronda Rousey going into acting from UFC. And what's the other guy's name? George. Who was the guy in Winter Soldier? Something.
GSP. George St. Pierre.
That's the one. I like him. That guy. He's wicked. His accent as well.
My truck.
Mate. Yeah.
It's so funny that you should mention Ronda Rousey. It's so funny you should mention Ronda Rousey, because she was actually going to be in this movie first as a female remake. So they kind of okay. And so we'll see how that goes on. And talking about fighting and talking about all that sort of stuff, I want to kind of just mention this one: Rocky versus Drago is happening, Deval, online, because there's been beef with the whole Rocky franchise. And I didn't know this, but apparently, we've had like obviously Creed and Creed 2, they're kind of like, spin-offs.
Yeah.
There was going to be a Drago spin-off.
I heard something about this, because actually, do you know what? I really did feel for the Drago kid in the
Kid.
second Rocky movie.
Yes.
He got a bad deal, and he seemed like a nice guy. He seemed like a
Yeah.
nice guy. He was in Shang-Chi as well. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And he
And
needs
then
his
at the
story
end,
told.
remember they kind of reconciled a little
Yeah,
bit, the father and the
yeah,
son and everything.
yeah.
But apparently, right? So this has been kicking off on Sylvester Stallone's Instagram, where he's been calling out the producers of the Rocky franchise. He's been calling the guy like pathetic. He's been calling him a scumbag. And apparently he said like, he kind of took a dig at Dolph Lundgren, saying, "Oh, he was supposed to be like, you know, my friend," and Dolph Lundgren had to kind of come out and respond and say, "Listen, I didn't know that Sylvester Stallone didn't know, but there wasn't a script, there wasn't kind of like directors kind of, but there's this whole kind of beef thing going on, and Stallone wants the rights back to Rocky, which are with." This guy called Robert Winkler or something like that, and his sons. So I just kind of find it really, really funny, man. This guy Stallone, he's just calling these people out on Instagram, and it's just kind of really, really interesting to kind of read about it. Finally, on news, I want to just kind of mention this, Devado, salaries.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about salaries, man.
Man, you're gonna expose me, please. I said keep it private, man. Keep it private.
I'll keep yours private.
I don't want people to know. You know.
Check this out.
Oh my
They
gosh.
just released the highest paid actors from a single role in 2022.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I can guess. It's The Rock.
Okay.
The Rock has got to be up there, man. The Rock has got to be up there. Or Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. If he went for shares in Hot Shot in what's it called, Top Gun, then he's got to be up there too, man. Because that film's made mad money, mate.
The highest paid actors from a single role, Tom Cruise is in at number 1.
You see,
he took a cut in his paycheck for a percentage of the profits.
Oh my gosh, he's so smart because that movie is making mad money, man. Oh,
his payday is reported to be 100 plus million.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
100 plus million. Now check this out. I found this number 2. The second is really interesting. Will Smith in at number 2 for his role in a movie called Emancipation, which is going to be on Apple Plus, I think. He was paid 35 million.
Is it?
Obviously, that pales in comparison to the $100 million. But
yeah, but that's very for one role. That's because usually it's 20 million or something, isn't it? For like the top paid ones.
35 million, and then you got Leonardo DiCaprio. You've got Brad Pitt, The Rock, Black Adam. 22 million he got paid.
Wow. Shit, Will Smith, yeah, and he's still got time.
Vin Diesel is in there.
Still got time to slap people, mate. Vin Diesel as well.
Vin Diesel's in there. Jason Momoa's in there, man. I'm telling you, it's like crazy.
All male. How about any female ones there? Was that it?
That is it. Oh, and yes, you're right. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
So in at number 25, Jamie Lee Curtis, and in at number 26, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Okay. I'm surprised there aren't any other females that are higher, like Sandra Bullock or
Millie Bobby Brown, 10 million. She came in at number 19. Okay. Margot Robbie, 18.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
So there you go, folks. If you are interested in that, go check it out. The highest paid actors revealed for 2022. All right, Devado, let's do new on streaming. So listen, I caught this. I know this has been released on Disney Plus because it's been on like nonstop in the house over here. But this is Lightyear on Disney Plus. So the window, man, the window for the cinema release.
It's getting shorter and shorter. I'll ask you a question though. A Lightyear. Do you know how fast the speed of light is?
No, mate, I don't know. But I know you know.
It's 186,000 miles per second.
Damn it! Craziness there.
That's how fast light travels in a year.
That is madness. So what are we saying about these kind of the light that we get from stars? That's not the same, is it?
So that is it's traveling that fast. So the light from the sun, whatever we see, is 8 minutes ago. If the sun blew up now, we wouldn't see it for 8 minutes.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's some science shit right there, folks.
Yep.
Listen to that.
And then 365. So in a light year, light has traveled 97,761,600,000 miles. That's how far light travels in a year. Yeah, it's a big distance. So yeah, sorry, that's just totally off topic, but yeah, Buzz Lightyear.
No, it's great because it's great because Lightyear, man. This is great because Lightyear, because this new Pixar Disney release, kind of continuing that kind of Toy Story kind of universe type of a thing. Chris Evans plays Buzz Lightyear. He's on a mission. He travels. The mission is that he's got to get these kind of crew off this planet, this inhospitable planet, and he messes up, and then kind of, there's a whole thing in there. Very similar, by the way, Devaldo, to Interstellar. Remember when?
Just gonna say, because the mass of that planet that they're on is the densities and the gravity is so different compared to, something somewhere else. So once you go to that planet, you experience time differently.
Time completely differently. So he's doing all this kind of stuff, and then he's coming back and doing these missions, and it's like it's been. He's like, how long have I been away? And he's like, it's only been 4 minutes for me, but for them, it's been 4 years.
Crazy.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It continues on that whole thing. Now, this next one, 13 Lives. Tell me about this one, Devaldo.
Yeah, this one is a true story, actually. Do you remember a few years ago, the Thai football team that got stuck in a cave?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the true story now.
This is 13. Okay.
Yeah, so basically, true story of the Thai football team who were stuck in a cave and they got rescued. And this one is on Amazon, and it's. Let me quickly double check who's in it. 'Cause I know it's got
some big actors.
Yeah, it's got Viggo Mortensen. I always say his name wrong. So we've got Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, Colin Farrell. You've got Joel Edgerton, and so they're the main stars. Directed by Ron Howard, who likes a true life story.
Yeah.
So this is coming out. When's it coming out? It's coming out real soon, actually. I want to say in the next month or so, it's coming out on Amazon. So So I think it actually might be out now. Actually, I think it might be out now. So go check it out.
Yeah, and it's based on a true story. So if you don't remember that I can't remember when that happened, but I do know there was that whole big thing. So new trailers. Let's check this out. New trailers. So True Lies. So is this True Lies as in Arnie True Lies?
Yes, it's True Lies as
What's
in
going
Arnie.
On here?
True Lies is a TV show that's going to come on CBS.
Wow.
It's a remake, and I saw the trailer, and you know what? This looks shit.
Oh shit, man! What's going on? See the remakes, man. What's going on?
It looks shit. It's coming out early next year. It's on CBS. It just looks dry, man. Like some sort of action comedy. Like they live in double lives. They're spying and all that kind of stuff. They've got a family. It just looks dry. I just put it on there because we can't always talk about the things we like. We've got to tell people about the things we don't. And this doesn't look like it's going to be. This is the sort of thing that probably gets cancelled after one season.
And
we talked about cancel culture at the start of the show. We're cancelling the wrong things. Cancel this, not Batgirl.
I know, not Batgirl, exactly. And do you know if what's his name is behind it, like executive produced by James Cameron, or?
Yeah, do you know what? It's a good thing you asked, because yes, he isn't.
Oh shit!
I think maybe because he's probably
his thing.
Yeah, that's why he's got some sort of rights to
baby.
It. So he's got to make Do Re Mi. If it gets made, he's got to put his name on it to try and boost the profile, but also so he gets paid. So yeah.
Exactly. All right, go check those out, folks. And you know what? Also, if there's a trailer out there that you've seen and you really like, let us know, because maybe we want to see it as well. All right, let's do Anniversary Corner. And we are bringing you a movie which is, it's like a classic. It's a classic.
It's an almost perfect movie. There's a bunch of movies that are almost perfect. You've got Matrix for me. That's one of them. And this is another. This Predator. from 1987, 35 years. You know, for our anniversary corner, we don't usually touch anything more than 30 years, but we had to make an exception for this one.
We've got to do this one. And you know what? I remember when this came out, Deval, I remember the poster and everything. And you know what? Arnie was on a roll. Like, you know, he's obviously a big, huge action star, and, you know, Conan the Barbarian. Like, you know, he was done like Raw Deal. He done like Commando. And he was already big before that because of the Mr. Olympia, and, like, you know, he's a bodybuilder and everything. So action was his kind of thing. And he not only is this, like, it was a well-written story, you know, the whole storyline, and, like, you know, what always gets me every single time, I always rewind, go back, and I watch the bit where he's like, Dylan, you son of a bitch, I love Carl Weathers.
When I next see you, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, get her arms out and go, and their muscles are so, like, you see it.
What's good? Seriously, I love that movie. The music is great. If you haven't seen Predator, it's like, oh my gosh, where have you been?
It's the film. And do you know what? Like, Arnie's in it, Carl Weathers, even Shane Black is in it, who's a bit of a muppet in, you know, other stuff. But he's in it. Bill Duke, you know, I'm going to have me some fun. I'm going to have me some fun. I'm going to have me some fun. You got, what's his name? What's his name? Billy. What's his name? I don't know what his name in real life.
Billy,
the indigenous guy. He's got, you know, all these characters. You got the guy that used to be in wrestling. What was his name? The one that was
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura. I mean, even the voice of Predator. You know who it was voiced by?
Is it the guy from Transformers?
Peter Cullen. Yes. So this is a gangster movie directed by John McTiernan, Die Hard, written by Jim Thomas and John Thomas. I think they created the character. Also, I've got a couple of nuggets here, which I think, well, I think it's true, but it might not be. You know, Stranger Things, they like the 80s, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah. I watched Predator recently again, just to refresh my memory. So this is brand new in my head. But when Arnie's team go to they want a mission to go to, you know, Carl Weathers get a mission to go to get these gorillas or whatever, the compound. On the way, they find some other soldiers that were killed by the Predator, and on the dog tag of one of the predators, one of those dead soldiers, the name is Hopper, Jim Hopper. Who's called Jim Hopper in recent?
Man from Stranger Things.
Exactly. And also, one of the characters in Predator is called Hawkins. I mean, it's either a mad link. I mean, come on, man.
You might be the only one who's mentioned Hawkins. There he is there, the one with the glasses.
Hawkins, yep. And there's a guy called Jim Hopper who's dead in a chopper. And I thought maybe that Stranger Things might link it to that one day to say Jim went away fighting the war, didn't come back. I don't know. But anyway, that's just that. But yeah, this movie, do you know who did the music as well? Alan Silvestri. We all know Alan Silvestri, done the Spider-Man movies, all kinds of stuff. So people from this movie are gangsters. I mean, and some of the characters in this, just the way they spoke. Look at how Billy, you know, the indigenous guy, he knew something was wrong from the get-go. Okay. There's a moment in the film where he says, he's a tough guy. He says to all of them, he says,
when he takes his thing off and he cuts
even before that, he's looking out. Arnie says to him, Billy, what's going on? And Billy's like, there's someone out there hunting us, and it ain't no man. And then he turns to them, and the guy says, Billy, you ain't afraid of no one. And he's like, we're all going to die. And he just walks off. He just walks off. He says, we're all going to die. I mean, these are the best of the best. And he's saying from the get-go, we're all going to die. That's gangster. You can't. I mean, this is the perfect film. This is on Disney Plus, by the way. Watch it.
Yes, you got to watch the. You know, if you're a fan of that whole universe, you just got to watch it. And you know, apparently, I mean, maybe we've spoken about this before, but the actual alien, the the person who was in the suit of the alien in Predator, at one point it was supposed to have been Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes, it was. It was Jean. Oh, you got some nuggets today. Jean-Claude Van Damme. He started part of the production. and he was meant to be the predator, and they were going to do obviously some computer effects to make him look a certain way. He was supposed to be the part of the predator that was the, the kind of camouflage part or
Yes,
whatever.
yeah,
But when Jean-Claude Van Damme found out he wasn't going to get any actual screen time, he left the project. So instead, Kevin Peter Hall was the predator in this one, and Predator 2 as well, which came out in 1990. So he's a massive tall guy. He was cool with it. But yeah, I watched Predator 1 too recently just to catch up, and I noticed in Predator 2 we had that gun,
I want to
which we'll
speak to you
talk
about
about.
this.
I took a picture of it on my screen. I was like, "This is gonna
Yes,
come up." So
this
yeah,
is
let's
it.
go
All
into
right,
this.
so
Let's go
let's get
Prey.
into it. So yeah, listen, so that's Anniversary Corner. Go check that out, and listen, let's get into the kind of the expansion of this Predator universe. Now, Daniel, what was his name again? Daniel Trachtenberg. Is it Trachtenberg?
Yeah.
Daniel Trachtenberg, 10 Cloverfield Lane, this great kind of like, intimate movie that he kind of made. And, we were fans of that whole thing. So he's back and, he's behind this new kind of, Predator movie, although it's not called Predator, it's called Prey. And that kind of, the title of that is kind of like pertinent for the whole movie. But you know what, Devat? It was like, I think we kind of spoke about this because we saw the trailer and we were like, shit, they're going to be making a new Predator movie. And, we weren't expecting a Predator movie. So lo and behold, we've kind of seen it. The expectation was there. And a lot of the time, sometimes you have to kind of you keep your expectations a bit low because you just never know. But it's got a cast in this movie. They've done something different with this. They've gone back in time. Like, this is quite important. And Deval mentioned a gun and from Predator 2. So it kind of does relate to that. So they're in the year 1719. This is Comanche territory, the indigenous population, the first people of America. And, man, the movie is kind of like when you see the whole kind of the setting, oh man, so beautiful, so peaceful. You've got the open spaces, you've got the Comanche people, they're just living peacefully, they're doing their thing, they've got their traditions, the land is sustaining them, animals, and they catch their food and everything, and they've got the culture, their tradition. And among that this group of people is it Naru, I think her name is, played by Amber
Naru, I think. Played by Amber Midthunder, and a lot of indigenous people. So I'm not from America, I've never been there, but I'm just learning this, and a lot of their surnames are gangster. I mean, Amber Midthunder. I mean, come on, mate, Midthunder.
Come on, man.
Dakota Beavers is the other guy. I mean, and the other guy, Dakota Beavers, that's his first ever role. You know that?
Damn.
That brother, he's not. He's a musician, but that's him. If you go on IMDb, he's got no credits for anything.
That's mad. That is
but
mad.
Yeah, Amber Midthunder. She was in. What was it again? She was in
Legion.
Legion, yeah, and other stuff as well. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So
ruined your
she's
flow.
kind of like this kind of like fierce warrior, part of the tribe, and she wants to prove herself. And I don't remember the exact name in the Comanche language, but there's a kind of like a ritual that they go through where they have to prove themselves, where they want to kind of where the hunted has to prove themselves by hunting.
Yeah.
The hunter type of thing.
Yeah, it's similar to the 300 with the Agogi when they go out into the wilderness and they prove themselves and come back. And I think in Australia, the indigenous there go on the walkabout, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Or something similar. Or we get in England, we get sent to the shops. Go get fish and chips and come back. That's how you prove. That's how you prove yourself here.
Which can be pretty kind of dangerous in some, depending on where you what part of London. But listen, look. So look, he's got this great cast and everything, and for me, what kind of was appealing to me was I was like, okay, I want to find out about this kind of thing, like the alien, the predator. He or she or whatever it is kind of chosen to land in Comanche territory. And how are these people going to deal with the technology of this futuristic, this alien race? And in my head, I'm thinking, well, listen, how are they going to compete, man? These guys have got like bow and arrow, like, spears and whatnot, and horses and everything. But, so the story revolves around her. And here's the thing, right? We go back to Predator. the special effects, the actual predator, that face, I thought was absolutely brilliant. For 1987, Deval, I thought that was brilliant. Even they did the same thing in 1990 with Predator 2 and everything, and they kind of kept everything the same. In this one, they've gone different with the Predator.
Yeah. And I think some people are saying that, because remember, it was also 300 years before the 1987 one. And some people are saying, obviously, predators have different. I actually wrote the name down somewhere, the species.
Even within their lot, there's a difference.
Yeah. So Utja is the predator species. And people are saying that, they, just like us, all shapes and sizes, we have different races and stuff. If an alien saw me come to their planet, they might think all humans look like me, but they don't. Then you'd come up and they'll see, oh, he looks totally different. So it kind of like the differences that we're seeing for them might be minute, but that might be an explanation as to why it looks so different. So possibly.
Yeah, so as you would imagine, the whole game for the predator is, he's hunting. It is a game for him, or it wants to be the one to kind of to dominate, and there's kind of it kills kind of like certain animals within the movie, but then there's the main battle is between Naru and the predator and everything. Now
and there's the argument as well, it came about in The Predator about the term, because in like the wild, a predator hunts to live. Like there's a predator that is within the natural habitat, and it is the what's the word? It's the primal predator, apex predator. Sorry, that's the one. Whereas they hunt to survive and to live. Whereas the actual predator that we're talking about is more of a hunter, because they hunt for sport and for trophy. So there's always that argument, but predator just sounds better, rather than hunter.
The hunter, exactly. No, yeah, absolutely right. And there's a couple of bits in there where I think the predator kills a wolf, and then does something and then puts the wolf's skull on the side thing. And then there's a bit in the movie, there's a kind of like a really interesting fight that the predator has with a large, I'm not going to give it away, but has a fight with a really large, think of the wilderness in America and everything, man,
the
that
bear,
whole thing, bear. Oh my gosh, man.
When I saw that fight with the bear, I thought, I've never seen a predator so strong. This predator took a bite from the bear, fought the bear hand to hand, even knocked him out, but he lifted the bear above his head. So when I saw that, I thought, okay, no one's got a chance against this predator. This predator is the next level. He's even bigger than other predators I've seen. That was crazy. And then he let the blood drip on him to say,
you see the whole kind of thing. Yeah. So listen, Deval, let me we'll get into we'll share like what we thought, but let me just talk about the things that I liked. I liked the whole thing about it set in that world. We haven't seen those types of characters before, and what you said earlier on in the show about representation. So I mean, the first people of the United States of America, I mean, we don't see those characters, right?
And also, do you know that there's another version totally shot in Comanche? There's two versions. I want to see that version. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. It's on Disney Plus as well.
Oh, it is on there. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's on there, and so it's great that we see them speaking the language as well, and you see how they interact and that whole thing. So that I really love the fact that the director Daniel, he situated the movie in that kind of realm. So that was all fantastic. And the beautiful scenery, the cinematography is great and everything, and I love that primal kind of instinct of survival. This person called Naru, she has to prove herself. She's a woman, and she gets they look down on her because she's a woman, and the people in her tribe, they're like, oh, what are you going to do? You're not going to do anything. You can't do anything. Why don't you just go back to picking food and whatnot? So there's all that going on as well, and I loved all that. But then let's get into in terms of there was something which I was like, okay, this is a good movie. It's a decent movie. but it's not a classic movie. And that's really harsh for me to say, because the 1987 movie is a classic, and usually you don't get movies which are kind of like as good as the originals. And maybe I've watched that movie when I was a kid, and I went back to revisiting that movie, and it's got so many great little things in there that it's unright for me to kind of compare it to the original. But there was something about this movie which I thought, it's decent. I wasn't expecting a Predator movie, right now. I love the fact that it was situated in that universe with those characters. And that's it. It was just a decent movie. It was okay. It was fine.
You're right. It was enjoyable. I mean, I'm similar. There were a couple of things that I keep seeing now in Hollywood that kind of get on my nerves a little bit, and that's because I keep seeing it, and it's all to do with sort of messages in movies. And I'm not against any sort of changing the narrative and stuff like that. It's all cool as long as it's done well. It's all good. I think the lead character as an actress, she's cool. And there is the cultural thing that she has to be the person who's a sort of the lady, and she has to do the lady things and stuff, and she wants to break away from that, which is fine. And she's got mad skills. She's wicked at tracking. She shows she's good with medicine and understanding how it can benefit you and stuff like that. And she's got some, I guess, warrior skills, but she wasn't up to scratch. Her brother was another level, and I really would have liked this if they let them work together and they celebrated that more than saying, even if you're not good enough to do this, still do it. Because there was a few times where she just kept messing up, and it's fine to obviously as a character you can mess up and develop. But when she went to get the lion, she fell over, nearly killed herself, and she still went out to look for this predator. She came against a bear. She was chasing the bear to try and fight the bear, hopelessly. Like everything she tried to do, it's just what. And I thought to myself, and you're still going to go look for the predator, like
exactly.
And then that for me got my nerves a bit, because it showed that she's not ready for it, and she's still going to do it and get people killed. Like, it's just not right. But I would have liked it if her and her brother, because she had mad skills, he had mad skills. There was a part in the movie where we saw her brother's skills, and I thought, whoa, if they worked together, they could beat this predator. But they the film never. They needed the brother to die, just because he had to die. And
because exactly, and that kind of spurs her on. There was a moment in there where there's other fighters, other warriors, like in the tribe and everything. They go one-on-one with the predator, and I'm like, come on, man. They got some hits, they got some like cuts and everything. And I was like, no, this is fodder. Seriously.
They were just fodder. But no, she's mad smart. Even the way, like, we don't want to spoil it too much, but even the way she overcame the predator, we saw she's the sort of person you want on your team, because she looks at the detail, and she looks, because strength isn't always about muscle. Strength is about how to apply your benefits to a situation and know how to overcome the situation. She looked at the predator's tactics and used it against the predator to win it. And I think if she worked with her brother, they could have done that. But
they could have done that.
It was a very enjoyable. Obviously, we had I think they were French,
French colonizers or something.
That makes me think: was this film? I think it was filmed in Canada. Was this film? Then was it like in modern day Quebec or something? I don't know, but
you're right. I think it was. Yeah, it must have been.
Possibly.
It could have been possibly like that. But listen, the whole thing. Let's speak about the gun then. So listen, look, so there's one character, I don't know if he was French or whatever, but he was kind of maybe a bit sympathetic towards her and everything.
Translator almost, isn't it? He was
like a translator or something. Like his name was his name Raphael or something?
Do you know what? That's what they make us think, but it wasn't him, because the story behind the gun, Raphael Adoli, I think Adolfi, is his name. Raphael, he's not the turtle. Raphael Adolimi. And there's a comic about this, and in the comic, Raphael Adolimi, he's someone that had a crew, and they went on this island to look for stuff, treasure, and whatever. They came about the treasure, and Raphael Adolimi, as the captain, he told his crew to do something, and they didn't do it. His crew wanted to get the treasure and go against the captain. So they mutiny, as they call it.
Right.
And
Okay.
as Raphael Adolini was fighting against his crew, the Predator came about this fight, and then the crew started to try and fight the Predator. The Predator killed the crew one by one. Raphael Adolini and the Predator then had a fight together, and just as they were having a fight together, one of the crew shot the captain, Raphael Adolini, and he fell in the Predator's arms. And I think the Predator was a bit sympathetic to the fact that someone took a cheap shot on him and then killed that person. And then the Predator took Raphael Adolini's gun, which we saw in the movies, and then sort of kept it as a souvenir.
As a trophy type of thing.
Yes, that's what happens in the comics. But I think in this one, I don't know if they're going to change that story, or because really and truly, somebody who's of stature has a gun like that with their name on it. Do you know what I mean? So it has to be someone of high level. So I'm not sure if it's a guy we saw, but it's an interesting one because
because in the gun, then a gun like that turns up in Predator Part 2, where the Predator throws it to Danny Glover.
Yeah, and then if you notice as well, again, kind of a spoiler, but at the end of the movie, did you take note of the cave drawing animation? Yeah, and did you see at the end what happened? There you go. So I think there's going to be another prequel. There has to be, because how does a Predator get their hands on this gun? Predators only take things when they kill and conquer. So I think the predators are going to come back, kill and conquer someone, take that gun as a trophy, as they do, and then obviously in the future it ends up in the hands of Danny Glover.
Hands of Danny Glover. Oh man, it's all there. I mean, again, they can take it in all sorts of different directions. But listen, if you are definitely a fan of the franchise, then it's a must watch.
Yeah.
And if you're not kind of like a fan, or if you're just new to the franchise, then I would say go watch the original, give that some time, and then maybe kind of like, check this one out. But I like the fact that they were doing it in a different way. They got,
I agree,
which they need to. So that's great. So if you got a chance, go check it out. It's on Disney Plus. And let us know what you think. All right, let's do Deval. Which one do you want to do next?
Time for one more. I'll do Bullet Train if you like, because Bullet Train.
Yeah, please do.
A lot of people are talking about this film. It's got some good reviews. So Bullet Train is Brad Pitt. It's got a kind of like an all-star cast actually. So you've got Brad Pitt, Brian Tyree Henry. You've got Aaron Taylor Johnson. Is that his name?
Johnson. Yep.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah, that's his name, isn't it? Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. You got Joey King. You've got Hiroyuki Sanada, who we saw in Mortal Kombat, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've got I didn't know this, but it's got Karen Fukuhara, who's from The Boys.
Yes, I saw her in it. Yep. She had I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, she was in it. And also Michael Shannon's in it as well. So you've got General Zard. Zazie
Sandra Bullock's in it as well.
Yep, Zazie Beetz is in it. Hiro Nakamura is in the film as well.
Oh my god!
Yep. Masai Oka, he's in the film. So Hiro Nakamura. So yeah, it's directed by David Leitch as well. I have to mention that. So Deadpool and other stuff. Yeah. So this film is about Brad Pitt, who he's like an assassin. He gets contracted to do a job, which is mainly taking actually one item to another place. He has to get on a train, obviously, to do that. And on this train, there are other people that have other missions. And let's just say their missions collide, their interests interact. And, the item that Brad Pitt has becomes a really important thing that people need to get their hands on. And through the sort of journey of going on this train, also Brad Pitt, because he's done many jobs in the past. Everyone has, and he sees certain people that he's like, oh, actually, I remember that person. I done a job. So there's history kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
But the way this film is, I mean, I'm not going to give too many spoilers because there are a few cameos in this film that are really funny, and I had no idea these people were going to be in this film, but they were. This film is, if I can describe it right, this film is like Snowpiercer, Kill Bill, John Wick.
Wow.
Uh,
Three great
and
movies.
a comedy, like just it's all of those movies in one. Brad Pitt
Yeah.
he's very funny. He's got his good
Yeah.
timing and stuff. Two standout characters for me in this film are Aaron Taylor Johnson and Tyree Henry.
Yeah.
All these
Yeah.
names, man. But yeah, those two they play twins. They play
Twins.
English twins. You know, Aaron Taylor Johnson is English.
Oh,
Brian
so Brian, he does an accent?
Cockney. He's from East London. He supports West Ham.
Yeah. Oh
He
my gosh!
supports
And
West
how is
Ham.
it? How is his accent?
It's interesting. It's interesting. It's not as shit as you think, but there's certain
Yeah.
times when obviously,
Is
it's
it
just
better than all right? Is it better than Don Cheadle in Ocean's 11?
yes, I would say,
Okay.
yeah. I would say, yeah. I would say he doesn't try as hard as maybe that, and it's a bit more subtle, but it's good,
Okay.
but it's not the best, obviously, But yeah,
Yeah.
he done well. He done well in trying to pull off the accent. But yeah, all these characters, yeah, they're just letting off shots. They're killing people. The kills are stylish, bloody. The action scenes are crazy. It's on a
Yeah.
train. There's all these passengers, and you think, how are you getting away with this on the train? It's mad. Don't ask too many questions with this film. It's a bit like Fast and
Okay.
Furious. Leave logic at the door. Get on a
Door
train.
and just enjoy the ride.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. And yeah, it's not a masterpiece, but it's a fun ride. I know, pun intended, but
Okay.
it's just yeah, Bullet Train is what it is. What you've seen in the trailer is what you get. There
Is
aren't
what you
many.
get right.
Yeah, there
Okay.
aren't many surprises. The character that I mentioned, Joey King. Uh, I'm not sure. I've never seen her in anything else. I've seen her track record, and she's been acting since she was maybe 6 years old. In this film, she's also English, and she's very
Mm.
convincing. I thought she was. I checked out her IMDb. She's American. She done really, really well.
Wow. Okay, that's good then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good film. It's a good ride. It's fun. If you can watch it, go give it a watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun ride. That's all I can say. I don't want to give
And
away
how
too
how
much.
much fun? How much fun do you think Brad Pitt? Because he's kind of like I mean, how old is he? He's getting on now. He's 58 years old.
Yeah,
So how much fun do you think he's having with these types of roles? Because I know that we saw him in I saw him in The Lost City,
yeah.
which
With
was
Sandra
this
Bullock
kind
as
of
well.
Sandra Bullock in
Another
that.
Sony film. So yeah,
There you go. And then obviously he was in Once Upon a Time in America or something like that.
yeah.
And so yeah, how much fun do you reckon he's having
Well,
making
let's
these
just
types of
say
movies?
he did 95% of his own stunts in this movie. So
That's
let's just
great.
say he's having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He's in good shape, and you can just see playing roles that are not too serious because he started out his career obviously being very deep characters, taking
Yeah.
on all kinds of roles, accents, all sorts. And I think he's earned the right to just be a bit silly in a few films and stuff. So yeah,
Mm.
I think he's having fun. He's having fun
Yeah.
for sure.
And this guy, David Leitch, man, he did John Wick. He
Yes,
directed John Wick,
there you go.
Atomic Blonde,
Yep,
Deadpool 2,
yep,
Hobbs and Shaw. So
yep.
this guy knows action, right?
I think he has a stunt choreography or fight choreography background. This guy, he knows what he's
Mm,
doing when it comes to fights. So yeah, that's why I said it's like John Wick on a train and Kill Bill. It's mad. It's a mad film.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Now you sold it. No, I'm definitely. I need to watch this one. Yeah. So it's such a shame I didn't go out to watch it this week. But yeah, folks,
Mm.
if you do get to see Bullet Train, then obviously let us know. Keep in touch with us. Give us your take on the whole thing. Did you like it? Compare it to your journey on the Central Line, like on the tube or something. But yeah, listen, look, that is it for this
Yep.
week. We have covered a lot. Come back to us next week because we've got some more movies that we want to speak about. And remember, next week, Deval, is Nope.
Yes, I believe so. I'm going to try and get Zakharov on that one. We're going to see his availability, but we should get Zakharov finally on the show.
Yeah. What I love about that trailer is, man, like every single time you just hear Nope.
Yep.
Nope. And I noticed that you were saying that in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Telling you, man, that's if this film, obviously it's a Hollywood film, it's got to be made.
Yeah.
But really and truly, especially us black folks, man, we see that shit. Nope. We run.
Nope.
We run. The film will be 5 minutes. That's it. Nope.
This is going to be great, man. It's going to be great because it's like, oh, well, listen, anyway, look, we leave that for next week. And yeah, there's obviously going to be more stuff coming out. Next week is also, we're going to be, I think it's next week or in about 10 days' time, we've got She-Hulk.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Game of Thrones is coming up. House of the Dragons coming up soon. Yeah, Andor. There's a lot. Lord of the Rings coming up in a few weeks.
Coming up, folks. So stick with the Flixters. We'll be holding your hand. And remember, reach out to us. Hit us up on social media. You know where we are. Listen, and that's it.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters Podcast.